So Skool's Growth Boost is officially live. They will now be charging 30% commissions on all sales that are generated from the ads or from the discovery section on the Skool platform. So what does this mean for us moving forward? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down everything that you need to know about Skool Growth Boost that we know so far, and also some concerns that we may have to watch over if you are going to be keeping this on, because Skool themselves say that you will lose 90% of all Skool-based traffic if you turn this feature off. So I think for most people, it's going to be beneficial to keep it on. But the first thing we need to understand is, what is Skool's Growth Boost? So what is Skool's Growth Boost? It basically means that Skool has moved into traffic generation. They are now not just hosting communities and facilitating communities for users and the community builders. They're now getting into traffic generation. So Skool has almost become an agency for ads. And they are doing this because they want to bring more people into the Skool platform. They want to bring more people in, and they're going to be using Instagram ads and Facebook ads to do this, because their goal is to have over 1 billion users find community on the Skool platform. So they want to find ways to basically help us with the main problem that we have, which is getting users and members and paying members and clients into our groups and communities. So that's their focus of this year. And they're really going all guns blazing. And I think if they can pull it off, it could potentially be absolutely amazing. And what I'm recognizing after many years online is that I think they are basically starting to become an affiliate community marketplace, a lot like platforms like JVZoo and ClickBank used to do before. And ClickBank, maybe if you know it, it's a marketplace for digital products, courses, programs, and different things that people sell online. And this marketplace is where anybody can become an affiliate of many different things, and you can promote other people's products and get paid a percentage of the sale. A lot like what Skool is doing with their affiliate programs. They've run this for quite some time now. We've been able to promote other people's communities and get a percentage of the sale. Well, platforms like JVZoo and ClickBank also run ads, also market campaigns, also email all of their leads and the people within the platform to try and generate sales for the people that are on their platform, the vendors. And this is essentially what Skool is doing. They have created a marketplace, and they are now becoming the super affiliate for the platform to try and generate more buzz for the people, to make sure that you want to stay on the platform and use Skool as an owner, but also to bring more people in. So Boost actually makes Skool a traffic partner now. And as I said, a super affiliate. And there is real upside to this, because people are going to be coming into the Skool ecosystem. So the more people that are on the platform, the more people that are going to find you through the ecosystem of Skool, and they're likely to sign up for your community if they're interested in that particular thing. So more traffic is actually a good thing. But the issue is not so much the 30% cut, it's how they are potentially attributing this. And I think this is the first concern around this, because it's not all sunshine and roses. If you are getting traffic from other places, then there may be some degree of conflict here. But if you are only relying on the Skool platform, then all of the traffic that Skool is bringing you probably don't mind paying 30%, because you think, well, it's traffic I wasn't going to get anyways. And if I was running ads, chances are I wouldn't be able to do it for 30%. So it's really beneficial in that sense. But the issue is potentially attribution. And this is where people are a little bit concerned, because did Skool create the sale? Did they bring in the traffic that generated the sale in the first place? And this is what we have to look at, because last click attribution, which Skool just switched to, actually could potentially hurt affiliates on the platform. Because the issue is that if an affiliate brings someone inside and basically brings them towards a community, and that person doesn't just actually go through a straight line. So if they didn't come in straight into the community, they come to the group. If they sign up and join, then they get the money. But if those people take sort of a roundabout way to kind of think about it and then they join, then potentially Skool is at some point going to get in the way, and then Skool will potentially get that sale instead of you, because it's last click. So the first click might have been you sending traffic and bringing people in, but then if they went away and then actively searched later on or came back to it, then potentially that last click attribution means that Skool will now get the affiliate commission, not you. And this is where people are starting to feel like it's not necessarily fair, because if I brought that traffic to the platform and introduced them to that community in the first place, then surely I should be getting some of that sale. Now, the attribution as it works, if you're bringing in YouTube or social media traffic, you've got 90 days where it's cookied and tagged to you. And as far as Skool and affiliates go, we've got 14 days. But the issue is, the more people are in the ecosystem of Skool, the more chance they are going to click something in Skool or go through a process that's indirect, therefore changing the last click attribution. So Skool's argument to this is that they are potentially bringing people in, and that works both ways. But the issue is that it potentially works both ways in a negative way. And I think when we start to look at it both ways, I remember my history as being an affiliate marketer, where you would actually do things such as launch jacking. And this is where you try to get in front of traffic that is buyer decision traffic. So therefore, it would be like making review videos for getting in front of people when they're trying to find more information. So if someone goes direct and you send them to, say, a community, they look at it, they're thinking about it, but now they're not quite sure if they want to buy, then they might go and check reviews, try and find additional information. And what happens is you've got affiliates that try and hijack this system, and they start to create content and reviews and channels and information and content to hijack that process. So you start to see lots of fake blogs, lots of fake review videos, some of them real, of course, but you start to create an ecosystem for bad actors to then try and hijack that affiliate sale to get the last click attribution between basically removing it from maybe the person that sent them there in the first place and also removing it from Skool. So I don't necessarily think this is a good thing. There has to be a degree of transparency, or I would say a deeper level of cookieing, so that Skool can't automatically remove the last click from inside the ecosystem, which they might be doing in future. We don't have the full information. This is just a concern on how it's potentially going to work. The next part is that if we look at the impact on owners potentially, if you're an owner and you're actually doing the same thing as the affiliate, you're sending traffic yourself, then potentially, again, we don't know this for sure, Skool could get in the way and hijack the traffic that you were sending and take 30% of a sale that really by all measures should have been counted just to you as the owner. An example of this could be if someone was viewing my YouTube channel and they were watching on TV, and then they basically searched on their phone for my group. So they searched for my name, which I've know has happened a number of times. And they then basically would sign up for my community. So they would see my profile, and that would actually then show up my communities, and then they would join. Now, currently the way that it's set up with Skool, that would potentially go to Skool as an attribution. But Skool didn't, by the fact that they were looking for the name, shows that they already had awareness. And if they were watching a YouTube video and being made aware by my content, then Skool did nothing to generate that sale. Now, that's obviously a difficult one to track. But basically, if I bring people directly to my page and they don't sign up right away, or maybe they go into the Skool ecosystem and they just indirectly come back to my community, that again might be tracking back towards Skool. So we need a little bit of transparency on how that potentially is going to work. Because as I was saying before, with the affiliate side, I have actually tested this with a couple of affiliates that I noticed for another community that I was sending people to. I know of at least 2 people that signed up as an affiliate, and I got neither of them. And when I spoke to the owner, he basically showed me that one went to direct and one went to Skool. Now, this was before Skool was charging 30%. That's just gone live this week. But what that basically would have meant was that I introduced people to that group, and then somehow along the way, they obviously didn't buy straight away or didn't sign up straight away. But when they did, they obviously maybe went direct for one. So the cookie disappeared. And then for the other one, they somehow got tagged by the final attribution within Skool, and then it got tagged to Skool. So in theory, Skool would be getting 30% of that now. So I think there's an element of risk around that. The next thing is retargeting, I think, needs a little bit of transparency potentially as well, because I've been looking and seeing how the ads track when I go to Facebook after looking at communities on the Skool platform. And I noticed that my community showed up, my new one, that wasn't live at the time. And basically, that demonstrated to me that, seen as it wasn't even valid for discovery yet, that retargeting was in action and was happening. And I also looked at the other communities it was recommending, and they were ones from people inside our free community that I've been looking at. And basically, they were showing me those communities. So it was only showing me communities that I just looked at that very day. And that means that it's retargeting that we're doing. Now, retargeting is great. It's a great form of traffic. It's also the lowest hanging fruit. So it's the easiest traffic to convert. And it depends whether Skool is going to stick with just retargeting or whether they are actually creating lookalike audiences and trying to compound it and bring in new audiences. Or are they only retargeting audiences of traffic that we've sent to our communities of people that have only visited? In which case, that's kind of, any of us could run that type of traffic. Now, there's an argument to say that maybe you don't want to run it, so you're happy to pay 30% for someone else to do it. But I would want to see how much it compounds. Is it only retargeting traffic, or are you going to scale, which I think they potentially are, which is great. But then how much do you scale, and who do you scale for would be the next question. So we would need to know if your page isn't converting very well and it's not making them any money, do they turn the ads off and only run retargeting? And how can you get it to switch back on again? And does that mean that the people that have the better about pages are more proof that Skool pushes them more than pushes the other ones? Or are they just willing to lose money on some and benefit from others? So it would be good to know a little bit more about that, how that works as well. And then the next point is really incremental sales. So the question is, if you are getting charged 30%, then you need to be making 30% more sales. You have to be making 30% more sales for this to be worth it to you. So if you're losing maybe some along the way, and Skool only seems to be bringing in around about 20% extra in sales, but you're losing 30%, then you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to you? Now, you could say that these are sales that maybe you would never have made, but you have to ask yourself, is it worth the extra 30% that you're paying out to them? Can you offset it by charging a bit more? There's various ways around it. And I think it's a great thing. We really would just want as many sales as possible. But so long as it's actually worth the 30% that you're going to be paying out. So that's the only thing I would say. It's kind of a game of math in that sense. So what do we need to focus on to get the most out of using this new boost feature? Well, the first thing we're noticing is that we definitely need to be improving our cards and also our about pages. So the community cards, or your community profile image, basically the large image that's on the side with a short description below it, the one that is shown in discovery, we need to make sure that this really resonates with exactly what we're doing. So we have to make it look a bit like a thumbnail, a YouTube thumbnail, where it is not too overly complicated, maybe has 3 main parts to it, such as a little bit of text that focuses really on the promise of exactly what you offer and do in your community, maybe a visual element that just reinforces what you're doing in the words, and then maybe, if you're a personal brand, a picture of yourself as well. So we really want to make it so that people aren't guessing why they should click. Is the community there for them? What do they get out of it? What's the benefit? Because then after that, we also want to focus on the name as well. And you don't want an abstract name anymore, because when I look at these ads, especially in the carousel format that they're in, you are basically seeing that they only show the card, they only show the image and the name of the group. So if that's the case, then we need to make sure that that's even more important. It was important for discovery, but at least in discovery, we have the sort of profile description, the short description, the single sentence. We have that to give a little bit more context. So at least in discovery, it's like a YouTube thumbnail with the title. Whereas with these ads, it's the name and then just the image itself. So you really want to make sure that that image is not, people aren't guessing. Your name is not too abstract. It really explains what it's about. And therefore, you will get more clicks, more people coming through. You then want to optimize your about page and really put some effort into this, into the video as well. And also what we're seeing is that people are turning on free trials. Because if you've got a paid community, freemium doesn't count for this because obviously freemium is already free, so people are free, they go inside. I don't know how much Skool is pushing freemium versus paid. We'll hopefully see that balance out very soon. But in terms of paid communities, be it low ticket or mid ticket, you really want to be having a free trial on there of some kind. Because going directly from an ad, and especially an ad that isn't giving people more information, is a generic carousel ad for Skool. Therefore, you're going to have to be doing a lot more work to get people to sign up. So your about page is obviously going to do some of the conversions, but about pages are not really opt-in pages or sales pages. They're not optimized that much. So we've only got so much we can do on that about page. So having a free trial does appear to be, so far from what people are saying, does appear to be a better way to convert more people from those ads as well. So that's what we know so far. Maybe some of this will all get answered over time. Let me know what your experience is so far. Are you planning on using Boost? Are you going to keep it turned on? Have you had any benefit from it so far? Has it sent you any traffic? Let me know in the comments below this video. And as always, if you'd like more help growing your Skool community, then I will link to our free group in the video description. See you in the next one.